Hey folks, and welcome to another little episode of Real Country with Jeff and Melanie. Today's episode, I'm going to try to build a new pen for our turkeys. If you look back at a previous episode, a couple months ago now, we had little baby turkeys. And we're raising them up for Thanksgiving dinner. And I hate to say it, they growing like weeds. I mean, that's a good thing, and it's a bad thing. We started them off in a Rubbermaid tote, and then from after that we brought them outside and put them in the chicken tractor, and now they're way too big for that. So on this little episode, we're going to try to show you just the basics of making us a new pen for the turkeys. It's going to be made out of just plain old pine 2x4s. Most of them's 8 foot. We'll cut a few down for braces. We're going to try to put a tin top on it and wrap it with chicken wire and just a basic door so we can get in and out to feed and water. And then later on, when it's time to get ready to put them in the freezer, easy access. So stick with us and try not to bore you with all the details, but just give you the basics of it. Real simple to build, nothing to it. But stick around, and here we go. Well, the basics of the turkey pen I'm building is I'm just going to build 4 panels. And this is pretty much it. I just like putting in the last 2 screws on the piece you just saw me cut off. I didn't want to bore you with all the cutting each individual board and placing it, but basically I'm just using standard 8 foot long 2x4 pine boards. These are not treated. Like I said, this will last several years on its own, and between the weather and animals coming in contact with them, you'll have to replace this every, I'd say, 4 to 8 years maybe. But basically we're just laying out 2 8 foot long 2x4s, and then I've cut other 2x4s into 3 foot lengths. So you got 1 at each end, 1 in the middle for support, and then we're going to stand them up and attach them together to form a giant box. Then I'll just simply cut out my chicken wire, and the roll of chicken wire we got come in 50 foot lengths, and it's 36 inches tall. So that's perfect since I'm doing this 3 foot tall. And let me just see about putting these last screws in. I'm pre-drilling my holes. I went and got this bower. It operates on a 20 volt battery. I have a 5 amp hour battery on here. I wanted this one. I had another one. It wasn't a bower, but I'm fixing to work on some privacy wall, and it's just so much easier to have one set up as a drill to start your pilot holes so your boards don't split when you screw them in, and then follow it up with another drill, cordless drill, with the screw attachment. So I'll start my pilot holes with one, put the screws in with the other, and it saves a lot of time having to stop every time you drill a hole and take out the drill bit and then pop in. You'll wear out your batteries doing that. And I was pleasantly surprised when I went in. They had a special going on that if you bought a battery, 5-amp battery, and a charger. You got the tool for free. And I was going to buy the tool anyway, and just so happened that day in the mail I had got a $15 rebate check since I have one of their cards and I'm an Insider Club member. So I wound up getting a 5-amp-hour battery, a recharger, and the drill for roughly around $85. So you can't beat that with a stick. And as you can see, the ones I've already pre-drilled, I'm putting 2 screws per point of attachment. It's working fine. So let me get set up and we'll try to put these last 2 in, and then we'll start putting the panels together. Alrighty, we're going to make sure that we've got everything square and level. Our pieces are flush. And now I'm going to pre-drill my holes. Alrighty. Double check. One more time, and fire for effect. That wood does squeal. Ooh, that's loud. Oh, and basically that's it. Just try to make sure everything is flush on both sides right here. And I'm using 8 by 2.5 inch screws, Phillips head. Good enough to get you, let's see my angle, there we go. Good enough to get you all the way into one. Let's see. Well, bad angle. All the way in and about half, 3/4 the way into the other one. And I'm not expecting this to have a lot of stress on the joints. As we join them together, I'm going to be taking a scrap piece of lumber and we will butt them up flush and basically put them in place and screw them in to join the 2 different sections together. So now it's just a matter of putting this on and then attaching it to the other 3. We're going to wrap it in chicken wire and then put a top and a door to it. So let's get on that in just a second. Alrighty, so now I've brought that last section over and you see I've stood them up and braced them together. So all we like now is just putting this last brace on and the actual box part of the pin will be done. All I've did is just stood them up, made sure they're square, and then the little scrap pieces I mentioned about, we just put those in. So I'm going to pass it to my camera lady right now.
Hey y'all.
And we'll put this last little piece in. I just went ahead and marked where the nails are so that when I go to screw these boards together, we won't hit the same nail. So bear with me and we'll get this done just a second. I've already pre-drilled my holes, so I just kind of finger start my screws. And we'll get them in, make sure it's flush, because in a minute we're going to wrap it with chicken wire. And I know that jumped, but we're going to come back and snug it in right here. Kind of hard for me to get down there on that level. ain't wanting to cooperate as usual. Being contrary on me. Let's try this again. We're gonna back this one out. It ain't wanting to cooperate. Alright, let's get this back flush and try this again. It's easier when we get on the same level. Some of these bottom ones it's hard to get to. There we go. There we go. That's more better, as a man says. If I did it and it went smooth, something wrong. There we go, that's more like it. Uh-oh. Like I said, I ain't never did nothing right left-handed. Alrighty, that'll be it till the next time. Alrighty, folks. Well, now we've moved over here and got that last piece on to hold the 4 panels together. We've added a 2x4 in the middle all the way across from one side to the other. That's just going to give some support for the tin and for the wire. And I ran into a little problem. I thought I had more tin than I thought I did of the size I needed. What I wanted was 8-foot long links, but I only had 2. And I had got a load of tin. Let me walk over here. Pile of tin. There's some more over yonder, back there in the back. Found a gentleman sometime back throwing a bunch away that he had took off a roof. But that tin is a lot heavier gauge and has been coated with some asphalt type tar, so it's very, very heavy. And the framework for our little turkey pen is just not going to be that strong. So I don't want to put a lot of weight on it. And like I said, it is about the last week or so of September. These turkeys ain't going to be in here but maybe another 4 or 5 weeks, if that, depending on how fast they're growing. So what I'm going to do is kind of like I did on the chicken tractor. I'm going to have half a tin roof where they got shade and protection from the water, and half that's just going to be chicken wire on top for ventilation, and that way they can be out in the sun. So while we wasn't filming, because I forgot, I took another 2x4. This 2x4 is at the 4-foot division of this pen. This pen is going to be 8 foot wide and 8 foot long. So I put a 2x4 all the way across, cut it in half, and now I've added one right here, which is going to give us roughly about a 24.5 inch opening. And I'm only going to do, well, excuse me, 24.5 inch long opening right here. What I'm going to do, I took a 2x4 and marked it, and I'm going to come in just a second and cut this off. And then we're going to nail the tin strip down, lay a full sheet from right there to right here, and I'm going to cut this off and replace it with this, and that's going to be our hinged lid. And so I'll only be accessing it from right here to right here, and then from here to here will be covered, then the back side will be open. But that right there will give me enough of an opening to reach in and get to their feed bowls, their water bowls, and when it's time to handle the turkeys, I can get them out through that. So it's hate to say it, it's a whole nother day. As you can tell by my shirt colors, we've been changing shirts through this video. But yesterday we just run out of daylight and time, so today hopefully we'll get it done. Once I nail and cut off this tin, then it's just a matter of cutting my wire and stapling it down. So hopefully we'll be good to go in just a few minutes, and we'll get this thing started. So hang on, and here we go. Alrighty, well now I've marked my line, and we're going to cut this tin off to make an opening for the door. So let me tilt this over here. See how good this will cut. Alright, here we go. Well, as you can tell, it's been a while since I used a grinder. Yeah, and this is a new tool we got from Harbor Freight, the Bauer 20-volt battery-powered grinder. I got this tool because I'm fixing to have to cut up a tin building at my mother's house. My folks have passed away the last several years, and it's getting time to try to put the house on the market. And they had an old metal shed that was like a little storage unit, and we used it for years, but a few pieces are starting to rust like this scrap, and it needs to be took down. So it'd be kind of hard to run electrical to it, and I just figured a battery grinder with a metal cutting blade on it would do wonders. And there again, I can take that tin, the part that isn't rusted, and it always comes in handy if you need a little small tin roof for a tool shed, for a chicken house, a hog pen. It's recyclable and it's free metal, and as high as metal's got today, you save money every way you can. But this little tool works good. It's just that was actually the first time I'd ever used it, and that's probably the only cut I'm going to make with it, but saved me some trouble. We have over 150 foot or more to the closest receptacle to plug into. And that's a voltage drop nightmare. I believe I mentioned that before. Let me put this down. All right. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take this piece, cover up this side of the turkey pen, and I'm just going to take some roofing tacks and stick it on there. Let me readjust. And before I do all that, I'm going to put my hinges on this brace. So here again, these are some recycled hinges. We found these at a flea market yard sale situation, and I got an entire box of them about that thick for like $3 or $4, and these are heavy duty hinges. So I'm going to scoot this up just a little bit, and then we're going to mark it off. This is going to be my actual door piece right here. And I want the hinges, come over this way where you can see my camera lady. I'm going to lay the hinges like this. Part of this probably will cover it, but I want the hinges where they'll come up and down so I can just lift it up like this. So that'll be another nightmare in just a second. see how good we can do this one. May actually cheat just a little bit and come up on top of the brace. And try to keep it in line. And like I said, we're not doing this up to code. This ain't for a house. This is just something to protect some turkeys for some weather. All right, so we're gonna go like that. Where'd I put my cordless drill? There we go. And go ahead and attach this right here. And like I said, this doesn't have to be nothing super duper because it's just going to be the supporting the weight of that small piece of tin. So let's try this. Well, let me double check. Make sure that's going to be the correct. Yeah, that's going to work perfect. All right, so we're going to do it like that. Just put a couple in real quick. Hinge, about the same thing. This one got little pieces on it to bite into the wood. So we're gonna do the same thing. Just eyeballing it. Get that started. Dropping it as usual. All right, and as you may notice watching this, I'm not a carpenter. I wished I was, but my stuff doesn't have to be perfect. Now, in a perfect world, I wished it all was. Everything was square and true, but in the real world, it's just going to be to keep a little bit of rain and a little bit of shade over some turkeys. So, it don't have to be exactly perfect, and so I'm sure there's people out there say, well, you did it wrong. You didn't know what you're doing. I don't. Never said I was a carpenter. Never had no schooling. It's just doing it and make do to get by. But the point is, it works. It's cheaper than buying a big kit and paying somebody else to do it. Now, if I was going to do a real product, not product, a real project, something professional, I'd take better care and everything be more precise. But this is for in the yard, around the house, in the farm, and don't have to do all that. Now I'll come back in a minute. I'm going to pre-drill some holes and bolt these in. But for right now, I'll put a few roofing tacks and go ahead and try to secure this other piece of tin in place. So I'm just going to eyeball a few. And my camera lady may want to back out of the way. I'm it can make some noise beating on this tin, so if she'll step out of the way for a second. There we go. We're going to fire for effect, see what we can do. Try to get it a little squared up if we can. There we go. Alrighty. So, we don't have bad weather too much. As long as we don't have a tornado, hopefully it won't mess up. later on I'll come back with a little tar sealant and put a little dab around every one of these roofing tacks so that we don't have any unnecessary leaks. Put a few extra in here. That one missed the 2x4, what it feels like. I'm going to sit that in the crack. Okay. Now that one obviously missed. Oh well. Close, but not quite. Didn't go over enough. Alright. So let me get some other stuff set up and we'll be right back to the next part. Alright folks. Hate to say it, it's a new day now. Ran out of daylight and got so hot yesterday we decided to put it off and wrap it up today. But now, as we showed you the last little bit, we had stapled some chicken wire across the top. And I was using some scrap wire because I didn't want to have to cut this new roll up into little piecemeal pieces, and I just happened to have enough to cover the top. So we had stapled to the 2x4s all the way around. It's overlapping on all three sides, butts up to the tin roof. And now all that's left is where the two pieces overlap. I've got this neat little tool. It's a DeWalt hog ring pliers. And they're like big staples, but with these special pliers you just put them around two pieces of wire and squeeze and it attaches them. Let's see if we can, oh, my angle ain't good here. Let's see if we can pick that up. There we go. You can see it right there. But it just squeezes them, and if you space them good enough, it keeps them. There we go, get my finger out of the way. It keeps it to where a critter can't go under and jump in the pen with you. So all we like on the top being through is just this last little row. And just thought I'd show you some of it, if I can do it one-handed. Miss Melanie's in the house, and it's kind of hard to hold a camera and use both hands. But let's see if we can pull this off. So right here and right there, let's see. Can we see this at all? There we go. All right, you just push it down, give it a good squeeze. Can we get that plier in there? And of course now it don't want to work. All right, here we go. Let's try it now. There we go. And just that quick, your little ring, let's see, back off. Your little ring squeezes, overlaps, and grabs the wire. And I can see this is going to be difficult one-handed. Try to set this up real quick. It may not work, so if it don't, we'll just join things a little later. But let's see here. Sneak up here and do one I missed, I should have done. Now, see how this works. There we go. It's working. I know it works. It's just trying to do it on camera by yourself. But it goes fast. And maybe it'll keep a raccoon or a possum or a kitty cat that belongs to somebody else from trying to get a turkey dinner before I do. And the Staples is pretty cheap, but they go fast and they work good. So that's basically it in a nutshell. Good little tool. Alrighty, so as not to bore everybody, I've already took one giant piece of chicken wire. We started right here and we went all the way around. The little staple gun from Harbor Freight, the Bauer, has done great. I've shot a ton. I'm 3/4 through with 1,000 pack of staples, and it hadn't malfunctioned one time. Now, it may do it right now, but it's performed real good. All we like is putting in this section right here. And I'm not going to bore you with all of it, but we'll put a few in, and then after I'm through shooting, it'll be just a matter of transferring the birds. But we'll put a few more in, and then we'll get ready to see the finished product in a few minutes. Let's see here if I can get it going. Alrighty, I'll finish up and then we'll see the finished product. Alrighty folks, well, it took forever and a day, but there's your finished products. Like I said, I finished putting the last little bit of the screen on there, and we got it half tin top, half chicken wire top, and as you can see, this is almost double the little chicken tractor I had them in to start off with. They grew up so fast, before you realize you're getting overcrowded, it's time to give them more room. But like I said, they got 3 foot tall to stand up in, and I should have had the camera on trying to catch them. That was almost a blooper reel. Most of them was easy, but as always, had one girl, one little hen that did not want to cooperate, and Miss Melanie had to help me wrangle it in. But like I said, they got plenty of room, and the biggest boy, whew, he's about ready to go in the pot for Thanksgiving here in September. Even though I was going by what the book says of how long it takes to get them to maturity, I believe a couple of them big gobblers is ready. But here's my lid. I may leave it like this, or I may put a little handle, and it may need a little reinforcing, but it's just easy access, and they're bad no matter what I do about pooping in their water and making a mess with their food. As you can see, I had a show enough feeder. It wasn't designed for turkeys, but like I said, this is our first time raising turkeys. And we've been lucky. Now, they may all drop dead tonight, but we haven't lost one since we bought them as chicks a couple months ago. But they'll knock the feeders over. They'll run them all over the pen, of course, to the back corner where you can't reach them. So this feed pan, I tied a string around the handle and then tied it here to the corner post. So I don't know if they'll turn it over, but I can reel it in without any problems. It's late in the evening now, but of course I got down to the last little bit of stapling and my battery died on the cordless staple gun. But it just meant I need to take a couple hour break and watch some TV and let it recharge. But like it said, 700 shots, and we probably did over 700 because that box of 1,000 staples only has 2 to 3 little small stretches of staples left. So, and it worked flawlessly. But yeah, I came back out here and finished stapling the last little bit. And then it's just a matter of catching them and transferring them. But I may wind up putting the waterer up on a concrete block. See if it'll get a little easier for them and maybe they'll stay out of it so bad. But like anything you want to do, you can give them a whole acre yard and they want to hem up in one little corner. But yeah, I think they're gonna enjoy this. They'll have a lot more room. And everything turned out good so far. On rainy days, I told my wife I'm gonna go get us a tarp. So when I know there's rain in the forecast, I'll just cover this chicken wire with a tarp, and I can lay a board or a brick on here and actually run a board across the middle for a little arch, and that way any rain will come off of it. That'll give them a better dry area. But anyway, folks, let's see here. As always, we hope you liked the little video. I doubt if you're going to learn any carpenter skills because I'm definitely not a carpenter and I had no plans. This is just all off the top of my head. Only bought a few 2x4s, untreated. Had most of them. A little bit of chicken wire, a staple gun I needed anyway, and a few staples. And everything else was just lay around the house stuff. So it may not be the prettiest thing, but it's functional, and even a dummy like me can do it. So hopefully you like watching us do it. I know the birds are going to enjoy it. And until next time, if you liked what you saw, please hit like, subscribe, tell your friends. And until the next time, from me and Miss Melanie, good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. We'll see y'all next time. Thank you. I was hoping they'd talk to you. They were talking like crazy when I was moving them. Oh well.